Okay, so I am recording now. So tonight we're going to take a look at the sketch that was created by our design team member Melissa Williams, and frequently on the blog she'll post these cute little sketches, and there's another person who does sketches too on the blog. So if you're looking for some inspiration, go check that out. It's flamingoscraps.blogspot.com. And tonight we're going to take a look at this sketch, which has a little bit of a feminine influence because there's a little flower here in the side. And I'm going to show you how to take your sketches and get some extra mileage out of them and how to maybe look at them from a different way. And we're also going to take some of the products that were not necessarily designed for the theme of the layout that I'm going for, but we're going to make it work for that theme. And I'm going to just kind of give you some ideas on how to, use what you have in your stash, mix and match your products, mix and match companies, because I know some people get hung up on the fact that we're going to use everything from the same company. And for the most part tonight, I am going to use a lot of Heidi Swapp product, but there may be some other things in here that we can pull in and just kind of get a feel for. The feel of the products and seeing how things work together. And also tonight, what I want to do, since this is going to be a layout class, I want to give you 10 things, 10 prompts. By the end of this class, you will have 10 prompts on tips for making your layouts really trendy. And all of these tips can be used for your layouts, mini albums, and even Project Life projects. So, is everybody ready to get started? Can everybody hear me okay? You love it when I do layouts. Okay, so tonight we're going to do a masculine layout. And I want to talk about the paper choices that I have for now. I've picked out this Heidi Swapp No Limits paper, and Flamingo does have a small quantity of this left. I think she said she was going to do a kit, just a grab bag kit kind of thing. And I also have a sheet that is from another Heidi Swapp product line. This is the Vintage Chic. I believe this one's Vintage Chic. Yes, this was from the Vintage Chic collection, and this is the bookkeeping page. And I really love this green ledger paper. And I'm going to use a very small amount of it, but I really like this one. And then I'm also going to use from the No Limits collection, I'm going to use the Champion paper, which has these beautiful stars. It's of course my favorite color. A few weeks ago I posted a YouTube Facebook challenge to use navy blue and mint, and tonight we're going to address that. Now the thing I really want to talk about tonight is, and this paper is the other one, the other Heidi Swapp. This is Smarty. I love the oranges, I love the little circles, but quite frankly, I'm going to use this side of this paper tonight, which is the B side, and it has a denim kind of look to it. It has a small compass here that is on the paper, but you can hardly see it. So tonight I want to talk a little bit about this paper it's a heavily travel themed paper, but we're going to use it for a sports layout. And we have, like I said, this paper is the Vintage Chic. And look at how these came from two completely different lines, but look at how well they go together. And the other thing I want to use tonight is I'm going to use some vellum. And I've had this vellum in my stash for a while now, and it has these silver stars on it. I don't know if you guys realize it, but vellum is making a huge comeback. It's like it went out and people weren't using it, and all of a sudden it's decided to come back. Then I'm just going to pull out some supplies that I have gathered up. I have a little stencil here from Donna Downey, and it's just the polka dot, or it's like dots. So we may do some stenciling stuff. And then I also have pulled out a collection of these Heidi Swapp Color Magic tags because I love to layer, and these tags are awesome because they have this clear varnish on them, and then when you mist them, the varnish really shows up, so you get a really good contrast. And I like that they're white because I can make them whatever color I want to match whatever I'm doing. And in the same line, I have a collection here. It came from a couple of different packs. It has stars and arrows and butterflies, and we're going to use the arrows and the stars tonight. And then same collection, I have some banners that I've cut out, so we're going to use those. And I'm going to try, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but this is from the Vintage Chic line, and this is some of the fringe, and I don't have a lot of it, so I'm going to try and make it work. It may or it may not, I don't know. Like I said, I just gathered up my supplies, and whenever I sit down to do a layout, this is what I typically do. I make a list, or I kind of draw a rough sketch of what I want to do, and then I start making a list, a brainstorming list of all of the things that I think about whenever I look at the photograph that I'm going to use for my layout. And then I go shopping in my stash and I start pulling things out that I think might work. Now sometimes those things just end up getting put back away, but sometimes I use them. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. This is a little Polaroid. Polaroids are so hot right now, and this is from Studio Calico, and I think Flamingo Scraps had a collection of these, and it came with different styles to them, but I pulled out the one with the stars because it fits my star theme that I'm working on. And let's see, this is more of those tags, keeping them together. And then I also pulled out, this is some pink paisley artisan words, and these have a lot of stars and arrows in it, which is why I pulled this out. It has some titles, but they're heavily travel, but the stars that are here match the stars that are in the No Limits collection. And I love this little pointing hand, so I may use these and I may not. And then I've also pulled out, and I'm not sure if this is Heidi Swapp or Maya Road, but I pulled out a little piece of scallop trim, and this is kind of like a crinoline type fabric. And Suzanne will have to tell us, you know, which company makes this, but I know I got it from Flamingo Scraps. I just don't know if it was Heidi Swapp or if it was Maya Road, because Maya Road does have one very similar to this. And then just some things for layering. I have a Sillouette Cameo, and I have some dies or some, you know, things that I've purchased from there. Cut shop, and they're arrows that have these cute little chevrons on the tips. So since we're doing a masculine layout, I just pulled out, I had already pre-cut these. Whenever I sit down to cut with my Sillouette, I generally cut like an entire page of something in a couple of different colors before I do away with whatever's on the screen. So I have some of these cute arrows. I have them cut in black. I have them cut in white and this kind of tan color, because the tan color really fits this, so it may help to make this pop a little bit more. In my sewing machine, I have some silver thread. I will have to leave the camera long enough to do that. I love my Cameo. Do you guys have a Cameo? If you don't, oh my, oh my. I also have, we're going to talk a little bit tonight too about using the negative spaces that come from your die cut systems, whichever ones you're using, whether it's a regular die cut or the Cameo. You know, you can build off some really cute things using these negative pieces. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And another thing I pulled out of my stash some scraps, and this is the silver. Actually, this is a piece of white linen cardstock that I sprayed with the Heidi Swapp Tinsel Color Shine, and we're going to use that tonight with some punches. And then I also have just some scraps. This is the Tim Holtz reel, and I may use this. This is just a piece of scrap I cut out just to see how it looked. So we got quite a bit going on tonight, and then here's my title, so we're going to play around with that. So the first thing I want to do is, for those of you who are new to my show, whenever I set out to make a layout, I typically do all of my messy stuff first so it has time to dry, so I don't have to listen to the heat gun run. And let me move all of the stuff to the side. And tonight, be still my heart, I am going to use glitter. I know that you guys are probably going to die. The ones that follow me know that I hate glitter with a passion. Like, I cannot stand it. So, I want to show you a technique with glitter that I think will be kind of fun. And I may want to kill myself before it's over because I just really do not like glitter, but I may not. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut these papers. I've got a paper cutter here on the side. I'm going to go ahead and trim some of these down so that I can start doing the messy stuff. I didn't cut the branding labels off of these yet because I wanted to be able to tell you what the names of the papers were. But this is going to be my base paper right here. And one of the tips that I'm going to give you tonight, we got 10 tips, and I probably should get a pen and make sure I mark them off so I know I got them all done. But one of the tips I want to give you is that whenever you take a layout sketch like this, and it has clearly got a girly kind of theme to it, and you want to make it boy. And Melissa did a great job at the only element on here that's really girly is maybe the banner and the flower. But when you have these elements and you're looking at the sketch, don't dismiss it for a boy layout, because tonight I'm going to show you how to replace maybe an element on here and make it your own and make it work for your layouts and things. So we're going to start out with our 12 by 12 paper, and Melissa has drawn on here some splats and things in the corners with our mediums. Well, I'm going to take it one step a little bit further just because I like grunge, and I think that, you know, like my first tip is that we're going to grunge it up because this is for a boy. And I don't know about you guys, but my son really can get dirty. The picture I'm going to show you in a minute, you're going to really understand. I'm telling you, his dad and I were like, oh son, you need to find some deodorant or something. He had just played a football game, and oh man, is he stinky. But you know what, I never turned down a stinky sweaty hug even off of a football field, because I feel like a stinky sweaty hug is better than no hug at all, and I love my hugs. So I'm going to take the green paper, and I'm just going to trim off about 3.5 inches, and then off of the bottom I'm going to trim it down to maybe about 10.5, and that's going to be this piece that's right here on the layout. So I'm going to have that kind of sitting right in there on that blue layout, on that blue paper. But I need to get my little splatters of paint here and there on here. So put these to the side for now. What I want to do is, and I know you guys are going to cringe, but, or, well, I am anyway, but I'm going to take this is just a piece of packaging, and I'm going to put a little dab of gesso on here. This is surface prep gesso, and if you guys have been following for a while, in the first month's kit we gave you some gesso in the first month's kit, which I'm sure you haven't lost, or you know, you probably still have that. Then I'm going to mix in with that, and I'm just going to take a popsicle stick over here, and I'm going to mix in some Claudine Helmuth. This is glue and seal, but you could use matte medium too, either one. And I'm going to mix that in with my gesso. And then I'm also going to mix in that, this is where the glitter's going to come in. I'm going to take this is just some chunky gold glitter, and I'm going to put that right in there too. So this is another one of my prompts, is glitter. Right now, glitter, letters, gold glitter especially, is super popular. And I'm just going to mix it in. Now, when I say I don't like glitter, I don't. I do not like glitter. But I don't like it because it's messy, and I don't want it all over me, and I don't want it all over my desk. And sometimes it's a bit of a challenge trying to, you know, get it used. And this is going to be a subtle glitter because this is for a boy, and all of this white paint is going to kind of tone it down a little bit. In fact, it might even be, you may not even notice it, it'll just be kind of gritty. But I'm mixing this up with a popsicle stick. Football hugs are the best hugs, honey. Let me tell you something. Mama Tonya never turns down a football hug at the end of a game, and they all think it's hilarious. They come up running up to me, and I don't care how wet, sweaty, nasty, and trust me, when I get in the car, I smell like I was in the locker room. But I don't care. I just really don't care. You could also do this technique with bead gel, because that glue and seal is going to glue that glitter down, and it's not going to be flying all over your room. And all it's really doing is adding a little texture to this gesso. Okay, so now that I've got that the way I want it, move this out of the way. Guys, excuse me for just a second. I need to turn the air conditioner on in here because it's really hot in here. So we're going to take that stencil, and I'm just going to apply it in small areas. I really don't want to do a complete surface cover of this. I just want it peeking out of some strategic places, like maybe like right in here. And it's okay if it's a little sloppy. That doesn't matter to me. I'm going to pick that up. See, so I've got that nice grid right there. I don't even know if you guys can see it. I don't know if I'm out of frame or not. I can't tell. Let me back the camera up just a little bit. And then I also want to put it, where's my sketch? Maybe down here in this bottom corner just a little bit. Maybe like right in here. Now, one thing about these is when you use them on your stencils, you do want to make sure you clean it up really fast so it doesn't ruin your stencils. I think Flamingo Scraps can get the stencil for you if you want it. It's not something that they carry in their store normally, but if you say pretty please, she probably would order it for you. And then says, let me know if you don't come back on, Suzanne, because mine is still showing that it's going and it's broadcasting. Is everybody else seeing me okay? You're being dive bombed by a moth? That's hilarious. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it is. Okay, now I kind of want to add that a little bit. This also, I think I want to add a little bit of it to this layer as well. So I'm going to put this to the side to dry for just a minute. You can see me. And I'm going to take this stencil and add a little bit of this kind of glittery goop to this too. And this is just going to help to grunge it up a little bit. I should have probably like sanded the edges before I did all of this. Maybe, I don't want to do a lot down here because I want to do my journaling down here, but I still think it needs a little bit right in there. Okay, now I'm going to stick all of this goop and all aside. And I'll come back to it later on tonight if I need any more of it. I'm going to get a baby wipe and clean this up. So I want my surface to stay clean. Suzanne, did you ever get back online? Hi, Barb. We just got started. We just added some glitter to some gesso and some glue and seal, and used a stencil to put it on our edges. So you really haven't missed much. And we're designing tonight with a kit, with a layout that was created by Melissa Williams, who is one of the design team members for Flamingo Scraps. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I've got all this stuff out and I'm going to let it dry. I want to go ahead and mist up some of my pieces that I want to use for layering. So I'm going to pull out a couple of these. I really like this kind of flag, this flag shape, so I'm going to go through these and see which ones have that shape. And then maybe even one that has like a, that one kind of has a soccer ball look to it. I wish there was one that had a star. Oh, Diva thinks he's the queen, so we're going to use that crown just because he thinks he's a queen of something or king of something. He's something now, let me tell you. I call my son Diva. If y'all ever hear me refer to Diva, that's who I'm talking about. Okay, so we have, I don't want to get this mist all over my table if I can avoid it. So I'm going to think about this for just a minute. Which colors do I want to use? I've pulled out, I think I'm going to go with the silver first, because it's going to pop up off that dark blue color. So this is the Color Shine Tinsel from Heidi Swapp. This is the silver color. Yay, welcome back, Flamingo. We missed you. I'm modding you now. Hold on. Okay, you should be modded now. Sunny, you're not offline. I don't know what's going on, but we are recording and it is all online for me. Now, I have this tinsel and I'm going to try and get it really in there and get that really good and saturated. This is that piece of fabric, but I want it to be good and saturated. I want the whole thing to be colored in that silvery gray color. Dawn Marie, you should see me again. Hit refresh. Just hit refresh. I don't want to go off because it says I'm still on and it's still showing on my end that I have recording. So I just started. We haven't been on very long. We've just done a couple of things. Okay, so I have this banner, and it's going to get lighter when it dries. So I'm going to put it to the side and let it start drying. And then I also, anything else I want silver? Maybe, what else would I want silver? I think I really like, yeah. Let's make our title silver, and I cut this out of the Sillouette, and it says Friday Night Lights. That's kind of the theme song for his football team. They picked that out as a theme song, so that's kind of why I wanted to use it. And I'm going to do it with the stencil or the tinsel as well. And I'm just glittering this stuff up. So for those of you who are new, this is my style. I usually do everything that's wet first. I don't like to run the heat gun if I can avoid it. So you may hear it a little bit at the end when I'm trying to get everything together if it's not dry, but I try really hard not to run it if I can avoid it. And you know what? I'm not even going to worry if these little pieces are not completely covered with glitter. With this color, I'm not even going to worry about it because this is supposed to be grunge, and grunge is imperfection. So I'm going to set these to the side and let them completely dry. I have a little piece of scratch paper here that I'm going to set them on so that I can pick them back up again. And then I'm going to let those dry. And then the next thing I have, I'm going to clean this up because I want to switch to a different color now. And next I have this banner, and I think I want to go with my darkest color next. And that's going to be this, this is the Color Shine in Teal. Now, one thing I heard Heidi Swapp say once is if you saturate with color with water first, and then you come back with your vibrant color, and then you just kind of pick it up, it won't be so bright. It will be not quite so saturated. Did I just do that on the wrong side? No, I didn't. There it is. You have to be gentle with this because these banners will rip if you're not careful. I'm going to hit it with just a little more color. So I really want those to shine. Let that soak in for just a second. And I think actually to mop that up, I might just take, this is one of the negative strips, and I'm just going to kind of run it through there too because I kind of like that. Oh yes, this is my favorite color in the universe. Favorite! Is everybody seeing me again? They are very fragile. You have to be very careful. I don't know why Ustream hates me so much. It seems like my show, they always seem to be a little ornery. I guess they do it to everybody. I don't watch that many shows. So did everybody have a nice Mother's Day? I know that last time we talked it was just before Mother's Day. I had a great time. I got to see my mama. My husband's mom had to work, so we didn't get to see her. My babies were in the nest, and that always makes Mama happy. Look at how cool that is. I just love this color. It is so awesome. And all I'm doing is taking my finger and just kind of dabbing that into some spots. But like I said before, I don't really care. I'm not going to get hung up if these things are not completely saturated with color. Okay, so we're going to put this one to the side. And like I said, I like to run my heat gun at the end if I need to. Now, I want just another little pop of color. And this time, like I said before, my challenge a couple of weeks ago was actually for mint green and navy blue and silver. So I think this tag, I want to do this kind of a mint green color, and I'm going to use some Tattered Angels Hula Hoop is this color, and you want to make sure you shake all that glimmer stuff up off the bottom, and I'm just going to spray that down. And I'm not going to put a lot on there because I really want this to be a light green. Just going to rub it in, rub it in, rub it in. And you can really see how that varnish just really pops up. Now, I have blue on this napkin because I was mopping up, but watch this. If I come back on this side and wipe with the blue, I get this really cool ombre effect where it goes from like a green to a blue. You see that? So, you know, just coming back from the other side with this baby wipe, or this, excuse me, paper napkin where I mopped that blue up, I can get this really, really cool from a mint, light pale green to a blue. And it's like an ombre effect. Super cute. I love the crown. Oh, Diva's going to be so mad at me. He's going to be like, what'd you do that for? Okay, for now, I think the messy stuff is over. I may come back out with some more messy stuff in a minute, but for now, I think I'm done with it. So I'm just going to take a paper towel and mop this up off my mat because I don't want it on my layout. Unwanted misting is not allowed. I may have to go over there and get some paper towels. Did everybody get back to me? I mean, have I still lost some people? Okay, we're going to go back to our base page now. And the glitter stuff is not dry yet, but that's okay because I'm going to add some more kind of glimmery, glittery kind of stuff. So I'm going to just let it. Now, when this dries, and I can start to see it now, I'll hold it up to the camera so you can see. But the glitter is really trapped in there, but it's starting, now that it's drying, it's starting to show up. I don't know if you guys can see it. And I'm going to come back with my Tinsel, and again you want to shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it really good. And I'm going to do some blotches of the silver, just kind of splattering them into that. Just letting that drop. Same thing over here in the back side. And that's just going to give another little depth. Kind of like Friday Night Lights, you know? I mean, like, it's kind of dark outside, and then you got this little pop of light coming from the stars, and, you know, from around in the lights above the stadium. So I'm going to let that sit for a second. Where'd my baby wipe go? Clean that up off my desk. So now I have these cute little splatters of color mixed in. And the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take this layout now, and I want to start prepping my layers. I'm going to put this all to the side and cut out my other layers, because I may want to add some of these little spots of color to them once I get them cut. So I'm going to come back with, got that put away. I've got my stars here that I'm going to pull my layout back out so you can see. It's hard to see probably in the camera, but you got your background paper back here in the back, and then you've also got another little sliver of paper right here underneath this this spot here. So this is where I'm going to add my little hint of my stars. And it doesn't need to be a lot. I'm just going to cut like maybe an inch off of this. I need to get all this wet stuff out of the way before my stars. So I have this beautiful star vellum, and I don't need that much of it. Let's just trim that down just a little bit more. I'm going to cut it down to around 7 inches. So there's that, and it's going to poke out of this side like this. So it's just going to kind of add a little more depth in this area right here, but it's going to be subtle because I don't really want my eye to go this way. I want my eye to come back up to the picture. So that's why I suggest using vellum. So that's another one of my prompts, is use vellum or something transparent, because that's a super popular thing right now. So we've got that. Then next it's going to be our photo mat, and in this case it is going to be, I'm going to use these stars, and I'm going to cut this to 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches. I believe it's square in here. It's going to be this piece right here. So I'm going to cut it to 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches. It's probably 6 by 6 in there, but when I was playing with it, I felt like I needed just a little bit more than that. So I'm going to play with that, and then I'm also going to take my Prima tool, which again was in the kit for the first class, I believe. And I'm just going to rough this up because this was one of our prompts. Remember to make it grungy. So that's what we're going to do. Just grunge it up a little bit. And again, there's another layer or color that is added to this, you know, on the inside here. And I think what I want to do is I may come back over it with that transparent star again, because I don't know, it might be too much with the stars already in here. Or actually, I think what I might do, no, I want to do this, because that's why I wanted to cut it 6.5, is because I wanted to be able to see a little more of those stars. I'm going to take the same exact paper, and this time I'm going to cut a sheet that is 4.5 by 4.5. We'll see if that's going to be enough. It might have to be a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, that's not going to work. Let's go 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 by 5.5. Guys, I don't measure anything ever really, but I'm going to use this back side because then this is actually a little more neutral, so it might help my photographs just kind of pop up off the top of this. So again, I want to sand this down along the edges because we can't have everything else on here really clean are really grungy, and then these pieces really clean. And I think in her sketch too, she shows it a little bit of a rough edge too. So have I still got everybody? I love the Prima tools. Oh my goodness, can't live without them. Okay, so now this is what we have, and I really think I want to, now that I'm thinking about it, I need to corner round it. So I'm going to go with the 1/4 inch corner rounder. Let me see if a 1/4 inch is going to be big enough. You know, if you're not sure, try it on scrap. Yeah, I'm going to go with the 1/4 inch. So this is the We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder. It does massive amounts of stuff at one time. And of course I'm using it for this little bitty dink thing. Now I feel like this needs to be popped up just a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And maybe even edge the edge of this. So I'm going to come over here and pull out my Prima chalks. And I think I might want to go with like a navy blue. So I'm going to pull out Farmer's Jeans, because I really want this to be a dark contrasting edge. Have I still got everybody, or have I lost everybody? I know everybody was having trouble with the Ustream. Anybody have any questions so far? I am recording. Y'all, it does help too with Ustream. It takes a lot of bandwidth to download videos from Ustream onto your computer. So if you have other web browsers open, it does help to close those out and only use the Ustream. Also, I noticed it is a little bit quirky if you use wireless. So if you have a computer that is dedicated, you know, hooked straight in and is not used for wireless, you may have a little bit better results. And if anyone else in your house, I mean, if it's anything like my house, you may have teenagers in there playing video games online. Make them stop it when you're watching Ustream. Tell them it's quiet time. Turn their computers off. It's mama time. That's what I call it, mama time. Now, when you glue this down, you want to make sure there are words on here, so you want to make sure they're going in the right direction, because that will make you crazy, and it's one of those things you don't see until after the layout is all glued down. And I may want to pop this up, but I don't want to do it yet because I want to lay everything out first and see, because if I pop it up and then I want to go do the layering and stuff like that with the with my you know, little pieces I just colored, then they may not lay flat on here. So I want to make sure I have them laid out properly. And the scale of the picture here, it looks like she might have gone 1/4 of an inch. I went almost a whole inch, maybe even a 1/2 an inch. I went a whole inch. So I have a little more showing, but I had all these fabulous stars that I really wanted to see, so I left mine a little bit half off. So my scale may be a little off from the sketch, but you know what? I always think of sketches as suggestions, and make it your own, because that really is what makes your layout look better or different, or, you know, fits your style. You know, beyond what the artist who drew the sketch is just merely giving you a suggestion and an idea in hopes to stimulate something going on and give you an avenue for starting a project. And we can ask Melissa if that's the truth, because Melissa is the one who drew that, and she is in the house tonight. And again, there's writing on this paper, and like I said, you really want to make sure that you are paying attention to that, because the last thing you want to do is have it going the wrong way, and then once you glue everything down, you notice it, and then you're upset with yourself. That's what generally happens to me. So I'm going to see how my stars are just kind of going to pop off of that just a little bit. And this might have to go over into here, but it's not quite dry yet, so I'm trying to place it. And then this is going to go, where did oh, I covered it up. Oh, you agree with me? Lamar, how are you? So glad you could make it. You agree about the suggestion of the layout sketch is a suggestion from the artist? Is that what you agree with? Or the wireless thing? Sarah, how are you? Sarah, you're in Jacksonville, aren't you? Okay, so now here comes the super fabulous photographs, and because I really want to place them first, make sure they're the right size. This one is cut at 4x6, and I left some room when I trimmed these down, even in Photoshop. I left some room on the edge so that if I wanted to trim this down and make it maybe a little smaller, I had room to do that. And there's some other issues going on in this photograph, so these are some of the things we want to talk about tonight, is the negative space within your photograph. So here I have a man standing in the background, and it's kind of, you know, distracting a little bit because he's got this bright orange hat. So I want to focus on trying to cover that up just a little bit. But this is my son, Diva Brighton, and this is his handsome father. And as you can see, they look an awful lot alike. See him? He's my football star. And this picture was taken last Friday night at the football game. And so we're going to place this down. And you can already see how this layout is becoming quite masculine. But this is the second photograph. And see, my scale's a little bit off right now because I have this goop here that I probably should dry before I get it all over everything. But that is to the grunge. But I'm going to come in just a little bit tighter here on the side. And the reason I decided to use this green grid is because it kind of reminds me a little bit of the yardage on a football field. Like, it's got these numbers on it, so it kind of reminds me a little bit. Oh, you have no idea. This kid is a diva. I mean, an absolute diva. Y'all are making fun of me for calling him that, but trust me when I tell you, I have a daughter, and she's nowhere near as much of a diva as he is. But anyway, so back to this. I decided to go with this green because it has these white lines with these numbers on it, and it sort of reminds me a little bit of a football field. Do you get that? It's sort of a metaphoric kind of thing. And then I have this picture of him that is an action shot, and as you can see, because it's going to cover up that man rather nicely. It's gonna, you know, if I lift it up just a little bit, it will. But it's bleeding too much into this side over here, and I want just a little bit more space here. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to trim this off just a little bit right here at his arm. So I'm going to take care of that really fast and see if that gives me a little better perspective before I start gluing everything down. That there, and let's see here. I love how these little dots too remind me of Boken lights. I love it. Okay, so then I have this guy here, and I could probably still even trim. I mean, her sketch shows that this is probably a 3x3. This is a 3x3 photo, and it's certainly cut to 3x3 right now, but I really think that I could use a little more trimming on the sides here. And when I laid this out, I really I got to thinking about it, and I said, you know what? I have those Studio Calico red, I have these cute little red Polaroid frames from Studio Calico, and I thought that little pop of red just kind of feeds back to the red that's in the outline of his jersey here. And it is a little bit, the frame is a little bit smaller, which is still fine, but I want to do something that I haven't seen too many people doing before, and I'm going to have him step out of the frame. I know you're thinking, get out. No way. But this is what we're going to do. I am going to add a little bit of glue around the edges here, but I'm not going to add it to, because I just want to hold it in place. I don't really want it tacked down for life yet. And I'm using the mono glue, and I'm barely putting any glue on it, just barely touching the edges. And I'm not going to do the bottom yet because I'm going to cut some things out. So I'm going to line this up on my photograph, and I really want to keep his arm, so I'm going to go a little off center, just like this. And I think, are these Studio Calico frames, Suzanne? I'm lucky enough to where I get to be on the football field because I work for the local newspaper too. So I get really great action shots. Now I'm just going to trim this off right here to match the frame. And where these stars are on the inside here, I want to see that there's dimension here, so I want to see his foot sticking out here. But on this side, I want his foot to come out over the top of the frame, and it looks like it's going to be right at the edge of his sock. So I'm just going to come in here and trim around his leg. This would be called masking if I were in Photoshop. I need to come up just a little bit more. And I'm going to come around this side and get around his shoe. My son is wearing hot pink cleats because he says in all of the photographs I will be able to spot him because he will be the only one on the field with hot pink cleats. And he's right. I always look down and go, nope, that's not Brighton. Now, it's going to get tricky because I have to do this without ripping this frame, but I got to get his foot in there. And now look at this. He's going to be coming right out of this, right over the top, like he looks like he's running out of the photograph. And I'm going to put a small pop dot right there behind his foot so it stays down. Got to get my frame lined up again. Now when you do this, you want to make sure you get it good. Fussy cut it through really well. Like that. And I may need to cut up his leg. I'm going to pull out my little, hold on, I'm going to get my X-Acto knife because it needs to have just a little sliver more so it lays flat. Just a little bit, not a lot. Just a little tiny sliver. I'm going to cut my finger off is what I'm going to do. That is not a smart way to do it. Don't ever put the knife like right at your finger. Oh, it is storming here. If I lose you guys, I am sorry, but it is storming here. Okay, and I'm going to trim out the rest of this photograph so it fits the frame. And look at that. Now he looks like he's stepping out of the photograph or out of the Polaroid. Oh no, he says real men can wear pink. That's what he tells me. Real men can wear pink. And I think I was going to put a pop dot on his leg, but I don't want it to get caught on anything because it will rip it off. So I'm just going to glue it down. And now look, he's like coming right out of that photograph. Isn't that cool? And I'm just going to ink up the edges of this just a little bit around, just to kind of give it a little bit more pop. And kind of hide if I messed up and didn't cut anything straight. Oh, it's lightning so bad here. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Florida has like these crazy storms. It's crazy. Okay, now we're back to this, and I really think I like the scale of this a lot better. What do you guys think? Give it a little interest. Love it. Pam, you're here. All my peeps are here. So excited. Okay, so I don't want this to be so like clean edged either. So I'm just going to take my Prima tool again. I'm going to scruff up the edge. Now listen, I know people get upset about this because they're like, oh my goodness, how could you tear up your picture? But let me tell you something. If it's digital, it is not my only copy. And I feel like if the layout's grunged, the picture's going to get grunged. That's just how I feel. If this was your heirloom grandma photo, I would not do this. I would make a copy of it and then do it. But I would, you know, for something like this, I say let's go for it. And like I said, we want to take advantage of this negative space and it being a boy. So I'm just taking that Prima tool and I'm just rubbing my hands over it like this. But now I don't like that those edges are so white, so I'm going to take my blue jean chalk ink and I'm just going to go right back in here. Now it'll be subtle that it's rough, but it's rough. You can tell. I mean, it's on a black background. The photograph has a lot of black in the top, so it'll be hard to see. But you know, I know it's there, and when you get close to the layout, you'll see it. It becomes very obvious. So that's going to go here, back inside here, and it shoots out past here. So see, this is why I didn't glue anything down, because now I'm losing this, so I may need to bring this down just a little bit so I see it. So there we go. Then we got that there, and we're going to hide this guy with this photograph right here. Bring a little bit more there. Now it's time to start thinking about the layering that's going to happen down in here. And on the original sketch, we have this beautiful flower, which would be great if you were using a girl's photograph in here, or a mother-daughter or something like that. But in this case, I'm going to substitute this for one of the Heidi Swapp stars. And I did have some things that I wanted to color that I didn't color, and that was the star. What color should I make the star? I think silver. What do you guys think? I really want this. I think I'm going to make the star silver, and I'm going to replace where that photograph was, where that rose was, and I'm going to put the star here. So I'm really starting to like how this is coming together, and I think I'm going to get married to where everything is. So I am going to go ahead and start gluing everything down at this point, because if I don't, I will never finish this layout. So carefully, and I don't use a lot of glue at one time, but I'm just going to take, actually I saw this technique and I think it's genius, and I'm going to do it, and it was on one of the girls that does the 2 peas in a bucket, and I don't know which one it is that does it, but this is just absolutely genius. I'm going to pull up my photographs. This is where I want everything, and I believe this guy's not long enough to go in there. But I'm going to pull this up. Nope, it's not going to fit. Never mind, I can't do it. Okay, so pitch hit. We're going to come back, and since this is vellum, you will see the glue, so I'm going to keep it to the inside. Right there. I'm going to take this, and now I'm only putting a little bit of glue because it doesn't have to be like heavily glued down, because oh my goodness, that lightning. It doesn't have to be heavily glued down because I may want to put some layers in here and tuck some things in. So, oh my goodness, guys, do y'all hear that? The thunder rolls, boom, boom, boom. Put that up there. And then I'm going to take this one and put a little bit right here. Like that. So I've got everything there glued down. And I don't want to use that Tinsel again because I don't want to wait for it to dry. So I'm just going to take some silver ink here from Color Box, and I'm just going to dab it onto this star. Get it good and grungy. And you can really see the pop come out of that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I love these. I love these varnished things. And if, you know, I may want to come back and add a little more color, but I'm going to do some layering on here, so may not need to. Now, with this one, maybe my dimension needs to be on my photograph. So I'm going to put, y'all hear that lightning? I may have to cancel the show and pick it up another night. This is crazy. Welcome to Florida. And this is probably excessive amount of glue, pop dot thing. And I use the Scotch on a roll because to me, I like it that it's not super thick and I can make it any thickness that I want. And we're going to pull this out to maybe about right there. And I'm going to add a few staples kind of right here and maybe over in this corner. And I'm offsetting them. There we go. Okay, and then if I pop that one up, I really need to pop this one up too, but I don't want to pop it up here because it's laying on this. I want to pop it up over here. So I'll just put one strip on there. Where's my... Okay, and I really want to cover this man up because as much as I probably really like him, he's not who I want to focus on. So I'm going to lift this up a little bit and pull it out. So now it looks like Brighton's jumping out of here. Now I can start building my other layers, and before I get this too thick, I need to run it to my sewing machine and sew it down up here and down here, but I've got one more thing I want to sew, so I want to get that ready first. Now back to my layers that I built out a few minutes ago, and we're going to heat set this just for just a second. If anybody has any questions, now's a great time to ask me. I love the silver. I am not a super shiny person. I like things that are not like super shiny. And you know, the Heidi Swapp Color Shine, the Tinsel, is a very shiny metallic. But when you add it to fiber or, you know, fabric, it acts more like a stiffener, and it's not terribly shiny, but it does have a little glimmer to it. So there's that, and then let's see, what else do I have over here that needs to be dried? Let's dry it all at one time. Oh, my title, because I need to work on that next. Oh, these are so fragile right now. Whoops. So for those of you who signed in late, I named this Friday Night Lights because Brighton's football team picked out a theme for this year, and their theme was Friday Night Lights. So I kind of wanted to capture that theme a little bit, and it's a song by Kenny Chesney. And growing up here in the South, it's a very country-related, you know, country music is played a lot here. So very popular genre for our youth here. So now I'm going to build out, and on this, her title was a few words, but it was a big lettering. My title is quite a few lettering, and it's not quite as large, but I also had the scalloped edge that was right here. So I decided to build a banner, because you can do that with boys. I believe that's a cool thing. So what I wanted to do was, oh, these are not dry at all, is take these Heidi Swapp banners that have the resist on them as well, and pull out some of the colors from the background and just layer them on top of each other and just build out these really colorful pops of color. Then I'm going to sew them together. I'm going to attempt to sew them together. It may not work. Maybe a complete and utter disaster. But while I'm waiting for this to dry, let's talk a little bit about negative space, because I'm seeing more and more people using electronic cutters and die cuts and things like that. And what's really cool is, if you think about it before you toss it, sometimes you can take and cut these fun strips. Like this, for example, was an arrow that was 3 pieces of die cut that I have in this basket over here, and I may end up using. But you know, when I cut it into a strip, it makes a really neat embellishment. So I'm going to use it on this banner somehow. I don't know how, but I will, because that's what I do. And then y'all hear that thunder? It's crazy. So this is what my layers are going to look like. I think I'm going to come back with this Friday Night Lights. Oops. Friday Night Lights. And I think I want that over. Let me bring my layout back, because these are all dry now. I want to build this like banner coming out like this, with this on here. And I think I want the Friday to be like kind of across here. Night to come up like this. And lights, how do I want this? Think about this. I think the lights like kind of maybe down here a little bit. So it's Friday Night Lights like this. What do you guys think? You guys like that? And I really want to use this. I like the arrows, and I think I really want to kind of nest them down in here like this. What do you guys think? So it just kind of gives another little thing to think about, but they're pointing the wrong way. I think I want them to go this way, so it points towards my journaling. That's another thing. If you're going to use arrows on a page, make sure that they're pointing in the right direction, because they could form a distraction and lead your eye off the page if you're not careful. So I think I'm going to go here, and I really, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and commit to that. So, oh, did you hear that? I'm going to commit. I'm just going to put a dot of glue here and there. I don't want to cover the entire thing with glue, because I may want to tuck some more layers in. And I know I definitely want to do some stitching and some stapling, so I'm going to take that and put it right in there and have it butt up just like that. What do you guys think? You like that? One thing I just noticed that I didn't do, which hindsight's always 20/20, right? I want this grunged up, which is another reason why I didn't glue it all the way down, because if I had an uh-oh like I just did, I can still come back and grunge it up. I don't want any clean edges on here, because I don't have any clean edges anywhere else. And the thing I like about the Prima tool is it's easy to get in there and do this. And you can always take it and go this way with it too. Okay, so that's all dirtied up now, and maybe I want to come back with this chalk. See, you guys, I scrap just like you guys do. I make mistakes too. I go back and say, uh-oh, what was I thinking? And I have to go back and add to things too. See that? Keeping it real. Keeping it real. And I think I want to scrape this up just a little bit too. Oh, my hottie son's back. He's in there with his daddy. Our kids just got out of school, like their last day was Friday. And so summer has begun here at my house. Okay, so what you guys think so far? Friday Night Lights. I think I'm gonna sew this down. I really think I want to sew this down. Okay, so I've got one more element I want to add. Friday Night Lights before I take this over to the sewing machine. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and start like tacking this stuff down. I'm going to use just a little bit of hot glue right here. I don't want a lot because I want to stitch, and I don't want it to be too bulky. You know, I don't want it so bulky I can't stitch it. Okay, and then this is going to be next, right over the top of that. And again, I don't want to stitch too much, so I'm going to stitch on the banners. I'm going to put glue on the banners, just a little bit of glue. Because I want to stitch it. Okay. Now, let's see. We've got this tag that we created with the crown on it. That I think I might want to tuck down in here, but there's absolutely no reason for this to be like, oh wait, what if I put it like right there? What do you guys think right there? No, I don't like that gap. Okay, so I'm going to put it down here like under this banner maybe. Yeah, but there's no reason for me to keep all of this, like to waste it, so I'm going to do this and a little bit of glue here on the back of it, and I'm going to tuck it in here because, you know, well, let's scrunch it up a little bit first. I'll add the glue again. Honey, I got about 4 different kinds of glue going on over here. I want to see the crown, but I want it to be under that there. Just like that. What you guys think? Okay, next I want to... Let's see, what else do I have over here? I have these little arrows. I think it'll be fun, but I need to do my stitching maybe first. And let's get our star back out and put it here. And I'm not super crazy about the center of the star right here. I don't want to see that hole right there. So I'm going to glue this down. But I'm not going to put glue all over yet because I may need to do something. And you want to make sure when you do this that you got your star going in the right direction, because you don't want your text crazy going in the wrong direction. Okay, now maybe I want to take something for the center of that, and I have some really cool flags here like this. I have these like this that kind of point back. That's kind of an option I have. And then I could put maybe, let me see, oh, I have a bigger star here. Like maybe if I come back with something like this and the, oh, I like that. Okay, let's take that and maybe put some of this on it. And when I say this, that is the wrong color. Where did my thing go? I want to put some of this I'm gonna put some of this Glimmer mist on it because it's kind of a more of a green color. And then I also have some of this turquoisey color from the Color Shine. So it's kind of variegated. Hang on, I'll pull it up so you can see it. I just didn't want it on my layout. Okay, so this is now, and I think these are stickers. Yes, they are. So I'm going to put this like right in here, like that. And maybe have this flag under here like this, pointing down towards the journaling. What do you guys think? Now let's heat that up. Except I lost my heat tool. Let's heat this up so it is dry. Okay, now before I get this too bulky, I think I need to go ahead and start sewing some of these elements down. So I'm going to take a break for just a second, go over here to my sewing machine. Let me get this on here first. And I'm going to stitch some of this stuff down. I have loaded my sewing machine with some silver thread. And I think I wanted this kind of at an angle, right? Friday. Almost put night right there. And then lights. Make sure it's going in the right direction. I'm notorious for gluing things on upside down. Probably because I work upside down so much. And put lights like right there. What do y'all think? Friday night lights? Okay, I'm going to add some stitching here. I'm going to stitch here. I'm going to put some stitching in here, if this will stay. Stitching in here, and then maybe some stitching up here at the top, and I'll be right back. Hang tight, everybody. I'll be right back. I'm at the sewing machine, getting my stitching done. Okay, now I want this to go right here. You know, if you are using vellum, another really cool thing too is to stitch the vellum on rather than gluing it on, because that gives it a really neat look. And I don't worry so much about doing the backward stitching to kind of set the thread, because I don't care if it pulls a little bit, and I'm going to put just a touch of tape on the back of it anyway to keep it in place. So it really, you know, I don't worry about that too much. Wait till you guys see this silver thread. You're going to go, oh dear, this is so awesome. Okay, now I need to put some. And also another hint for this kind of thing, because I hate changing bobbins. I would rather just, I hate doing it. Hate it. So another tip I'm going to give you is that if you're going to use the silver thread, use a white, you know, like if you have a white bobbin or whatever, just use the white bobbin. Because you can't tell necessarily. What did I just do? I just broke my sewing machine, guys. Hang on. I don't know what I just did. There it is. I knocked the foot off. Well, now I done broke a needle. Alright, stitching is going to have to wait till tomorrow, and I'll show you the pictures later because I broke the needle. And I don't even know if I have a needle. I went through the chipboard and broke the needle. And I am like the worst seamstress in the universe. Okay. So here we go. Okay guys, so we're just about done here. Like I said, I'm just going to come back tomorrow or later tonight, and I'm going to put some stitching on here. I broke the needle because I went over this by accident, and it popped it off right here. So I'm going to try and come back and stitch this back on when I can fix the needle. And I think, where's my little tiny attacher? I want to add a couple of staples right here on this, and I'm going to cut this off on the edge. But look at how that silver thread, I'm going to turn this around so you can see it, but look at how that silver thread looks. Isn't that awesome? Up against that, it's really shiny. I love it. And I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but earlier in the show we put the glitter on the inside of the gesso, and look at how cool that looks. I mean, it's drying and you can really see the pop of color. And now I think I want to add a few more of these little dots. And another thing I want to talk about tonight before I let you guys go is negative spaces on punches. Another thing that is super popular right now, this day and age, is confetti. Confetti is super popular. So I have some sequins up here. Just got to locate them. Sequins are very popular right now, and I think this one kind of, because we have the circles here in all of this gesso, the sequins would probably make this just kind of stand up a little bit more. And it's okay to use sequins on a boy layout. I think it adds something to all layouts, but I'm going to stick to the silver because that's the color I have picked for my splatter, my paint splatters, and I think these silver colors will actually enhance that bokeh look that I'm after and the Friday Night Light theme. Whoops, where'd it go? So I'm pulling out some of these big sequins, and guys, these were super cheap. I just got them in the craft section, the sew-in section, and they're just loose. Now there is a trick to them. You can't really use a ton of hot glue, because if you do, it's going to melt the sequin. So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one, I'm going to work in a triangle, so I'm going to put one maybe like right in this hole right here. And then I need to put one somewhere else, maybe right up in this corner here somewhere, or maybe like right there. That's where I want it, right there. So we've got sequins on there, which gives us that metal effect as well. It gives us that hint of light. It gives us the sparkle. What else do we want? We've got the pop of red here, a little pop of red here, maybe a touch of red somewhere else. So maybe take one of these arrows that is, and maybe have it come down like this, and I could color it red. Where's my red? Red stays on, or red archival ink. That's what I'll use. And I'm just going to take my paper towel that I have here, dip my finger in it, and maybe rub it over the top. If it's a nasty mess, then I just toss it. It's just a die cut, right? Just blot it on. The team name is the Indians, so I kind of like these like feathery looking arrows, because to me they kind of remind me a little bit of an Indian arrowhead. Get that up before it gets all over me, and then we'll add just a little bit of glue to that too. So far tonight, I told you guys I was going to give you 10 prompts for a perfect layout. And tonight, I have given you, let's go through them real quick. Use glitter. Gasp, I didn't say that. I know you guys didn't hear me say that because I'm not a glitter fan. But I did use glitter. But I used it in a way that it wouldn't get all over everything. But I have managed to make a giant mess of this. And this glue, if it will dry clear. So I'm just kind of picking it up with this paper towel so you won't see it. There you go. So we have our arrowhead coming down like that. And I'm thinking that number's not going to be enough. Maybe put one more of them coming this way towards the journaling. And it could be a different one. How about a different one? What if we go with this one? Because this is kind of cool too. And I could cut it off a little bit. Maybe make a, let me see here. I'm almost done, guys, I swear. I'm almost done. I'm going to take this and cut it off and maybe come up right under here, pointing down. I like that. So now I have a pop of red coming from above and a pop of red coming from over here, and it's leading your eye down to my journaling, which is right here. And I believe, let's see. Okay, so we did our prompts. We've got use metallic colors, which we did when we used the Tinsel, and we used it here, and we used it on the Sequins. Grunge it up, which we did. We ripped, we sand, we drip paint. Use metal staples, which we did, and the Sequins are metal. Use transparent elements, which we did. We used it on the Vellum. And large items for titles, or layer items for titles, which we did. We layered a bunch of elements here to add your eye back to the title, and that title is going to pop a little bit more when you see it in the photograph. It's kind of shiny right now. And then sew, which we did, and I'll come back and do the rest of the stitching on here after the show is over and I can fix my needle. Replace flowers for dies, which we did. So this is going to take this from a feminine kind of layout back to a masculine layout. And then use negative negatives from the dies and punches, which we did. We did right here. And there was one other thing I wanted to do is I have this little star punch here. I need to cover that up before I get it all over me. And one thing I want to show you guys too is pay attention to your punches, because they have, you know, the negative pieces from the punches. Like, for example, I love these stars because they're tiny like confetti, and I don't know that I would ever really use this for a border punch, but you know, I probably would use it for confetti, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up these little, this was a strip of silver paper, and I'm just going to put like little drops here and there and drip these little stars. So again, that's using your punches for something other than their intended purpose. And the smaller they are, I know confetti veneers, wooden veneers, if I had wood veneers that were stars, I probably would use them too. But those are super popular right now. And this is a way I can add that look without having those elements. You know, just go back and look at your punches, because I bet back in the olden days you have those old-fashioned punches that were, you know, we bought them all. When we bought our decorative scissors, we bought all these like little punches and stuff. I bet you if you look in your stash you have some of those. And you know, they're a lot of fun to pull back out and add into here. And that little pop of red sends your eye back up to the that little pop of the red sends your eye right back up to the photograph and then back down to your journaling. And this is the last element I'm going to add. I'm going to put just a few of these on here. This is a quick stick. For those of you who have never seen them, they're super cool. They have this little gummy end on one end, and then they have the poker that is a really like fine poker point on this end, and then this end is like a flat tip, and they're great because you can pick up little tiny things like this on the end of that, add a little bit of glue, and then you can pop it back down. So, and then you use the poker end to let go. Isn't that cool? It's great for these little teeny tiny jewel stones. It's great for you know, little tiny die cuts and things. So I think I'm done, you guys. If you have any questions, all I'm going to do is go back and do my stitching and everything. But if you guys have any questions, just let me know. It's called a quick stick. It's made by, this one is made by Quick Cuts, but Sillouette also has one. They're super cool. I love these things. It's like I said, it's got this little, I've had this thing since probably 2007, seriously. And like I said, it's really cool. It has the little point that would cut your eyeball out if you weren't careful. I have poked myself with it. But it's great for these little teeny tiny pieces, and I've had people tell me that they have arthritis, and this little guy right here helps them to pick up these little itty bitty pieces, especially people who like me who have these long nails. It's difficult sometimes to pick up these pieces, so you know, it's a lot of fun. So guys, thanks for coming out tonight and sticking with me through this process. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you got some great tips. I really enjoy all of the bantering back and forth. Sorry about my sewing machine. I broke it, but, you know. I'll put pictures of this on Facebook for you guys so you can see better detail of it, because I know the quality of the video is probably not that great, and it also is a little bit hard to see all of the little fine details that are in here. But you didn't know how to use it? Well, now you know. I'm so glad I could teach you. I love that tool. I have used the stew out of it. And you know what I thought whenever I did it? I asked them, I say, do they sell like replacement pieces for the little gummy end? And they said, we've been using it for a year now and never ran out. And honestly, I bought this in 2006 and it's never run out on me either. It's been around for a really long time. Oh, thank you, Julie. It stopped storming here. Thank you guys for coming out, and again, make sure you go check out Flamingo Scraps' blog, and if you have any questions about the layout tonight, go check out Flamingo Scraps' Facebook page. They have an awesome design team. This layout sketch was designed by William SMM here in the chat, and that is the design team member Melissa Williams. And the sketch is on the blog, so if you guys want to go check it out, it's on my blog at psychomomscrapbooks.blogspot.com, and it's also on Flamingo Scraps' website, so you can grab that sketch. And please, if you use the sketch, tag Melissa and I on it, Facebook, so we can see what you did with it, because we love it when you guys take our ideas and run with them and create other things, and I would love to see it. And again, my all-time favorite color palette for the summer is navy blue, mint, and silver, which I got to use tonight. So I hope I gave you guys some ideas on ways to use products in different ways, and ways to take the sketches and use them in a little bit of a different way. And thanks for showing up tonight. Good night, everybody.